we'll stick around because I'm pretty sure one of these teams is going to have to be a magician to avoid just getting rolled, I think, by the Gladiators. I think the Titans here definitely have a tall order against them. But Matt, this is the first time that these two rosters have actually played here in the June Joust. So we haven't really seen anything from them except primarily like McCree, May, the Ryan Baptiste sort of rush comp at Lucio that we saw in May. So these guys have had some time off, the Gladiators more so. So who knows what to expect from these two teams. And obviously the Titans have recently made a roster change.
Yeah, you did have Shudlock retire. They bring in Chengsik. But I think the story about this match will be the Gladiators. They were a team that everybody thought really highly of going into the Melee. Some people even predicted them to like win the league. And they didn't even make the knockouts. They played quite poor. So for me, it's the Gladiators. How do they look here against the Titans, a team which they should be able to handle, especially bringing in a new main tank? It should be a winnable game for the Gladiators, but I want to see how they play.
Absolutely. Look, Matt, I think we got to see some of Birdering's Ashe stats, and they're actually really quite good. So he's up there as one of the sort of top Ashe players. We know what Kevster is capable of, right? And Mirror Wait's in the wing, so there's definitely no concern about the DPS potential. Muse comes in, and people are already crowing about him being a Rookie of the Year candidate, right? Shu is an absolute freak beast as a support player, so no one looks at this team and goes, they're middling. But again, the Gladiators in classic style ended their main Melee run in very inauspicious, very middling fashion. This is where they can turn up, start of the June Joust, make a big statement, and look to actually be a real part of those knockouts. The Vancouver Titans, obviously, we've recently heard of the retirement of Shredlock, so Chungsik gets brought into this team, and I think many people probably remember Chungsik from the very successful Philadelphia, the Fusion University roster he contended, right? I don't know. Now, I don't know for sure where he's playing from. I would suggest that Chunks is probably playing from South Korea at the moment. But again, I can't sort of confirm nor deny that. A big change, though, for this team, Matt, to be sure.
Absolutely. Anytime you change your main tank is one of like the most, if not the most, like focal point of a team. One thing to note as well for the Gladiators, no Moth here early on, so probably not expecting some Lucio play. Probably expecting to see some, more Batiste, maybe even some Brig type of shenanigans from the Glads, but Ilios will be the first map.
Yeah, so wouldn't you expect to see Lucio here?
It kind of depends on what they want to play. Like, you would also think Moth would be in if you wanted to play Mercy, right? So maybe there's some other different type of compositions that they want to run. Things that they mentioned on the desk, but they've been off for basically a month, so they've had a lot of time to be able to work on some interesting stuff.
Here we go. We're going to jump in just a moment. Of course, Link's a player who always plays above the performance of his team generally. His statistics indicate that he's a pretty darn solid DPS player, but it has struggled to be on rosters that, as a whole, have achieved great results. And Teru is a very promising prospect. We saw a lot of May from Teru. He played a ton of May in the May Melee, unsurprisingly. So this is a chance now to maybe see him branch out from that, as May's a little bit less sought after now in this sort of higher mobility or double shield style of play. And yeah, I mean, we get to see that Echo, of course, which is something that he looked quite good on at times as well.
So with the Gladiators, I fully expect them to run this type of support line. If you're not going to have Moth in the game, you're probably putting in the skew to play some Brig, whether you're going to play some Baptiste type of setups as well. So you'll have the Ana with the Brig here to kick things off. Kevser potentially could go over and play the Echo, so you could have like a Echo McCree here. Going up against the Echo Reaper. So the rush kind of composition coming in here for the Titans.
Interesting. There is also an Azaya on the side of the Gladiators here, which is, obviously a fantastic pick for space, but also means that Muse is probably going to get a little bit of extra attention and those bubbles. Whereas Friedwiener probably is trying to do more to help Lynx to stay alive in the front line with that defense. Well, that didn't work out too well, did it? The idea was there, but the execution lacked.
I would love to know as well how long Changsik has been playing with this team. I feel like to come out and try and play a dive with a new main tank, and let's say you've only been playing a week, and maybe he's playing from afar like you mentioned, I feel like that's tough. I mean, even if that's kind of the composition you want to run, you got to put yourself in an easier position, at least to ease into it here at first.
I'd suggest it's been days. As far as I can tell, we don't really know how much notice was sort of given by Shredlock, or sort of.
I believe a decent amount of time. Yeah, I don't think it was.
That's a big bite of grenade. Teru has to back away from that one, and the Titans can't really get aggressive yet. You see Lynx is trying to work that left-hand side and actually pressure the point properly. And they're waiting on the coalescence, so they get that. They take a lot of poke damage in order to do so, but they'll be able to move on to the point, just take it like that. The Gladiators just have to bend and accept that they don't want to fight this coalescence, but Shu has a nano boost here, and he sends it straight to Muse.
And I thought Space was going to go down and contest the point. That'll be Lynx who takes out Bird Ring, as Muse with the Primal Rage getting back towards the point. This should be flipped back in the Gladiators' favor rather quickly. Just a little bit of percentage here earned by the Vancouver Titans. The biggest part there for the Glads is they didn't have to burn that grab here. So you're going to have grab this next fight. Grab, Deadeye. Not the classic of combos, but still something you could use here. Try and get value from Bird Ring's ult.
I'm still going to make it tough for Chungsik to get close, whichever way you slice it. I mean, there you go.
From such a distance.
I guess I would if I was him, just for that extra bit of safety, and also getting decent sight lines on Teru, because he's going to be coming in. Deadeye immediately. Defensive Deadeye, as we may be expected to see. Try to win, he gets desuited, and Birdring is playing ultra safe from that high ground position. But Scoot gets taken down by Lynxer, who finds yet another. With a sound barrier of fire, the Titans are here, and they're ready to brawl.
It's no opportunity for a grab from Space. As I tell you what, the Titans have looked better than I almost expected a series kind of like what we just saw. And I think if you're a Gladiator fan, that's kind of what you would want to see, right? This team hit their stride, assert their kind of dominance over a team that, the Titans kind of find themselves obviously 0-4, like near the bottom of the ranks in NA. But the Titans have put up a really good fight thus far.
Lynx are pressured, duplicated Diva from Kevster. The self-destruct is also there. Rolf's taken down. Both teams have lost their main healers, but having Lynx out of the mix here means that now the Titans don't really benefit from that sort of longer fight. In fact, they really are going to struggle in these next few moments. Deadeye from Birdring gets Teru. Good cleanup as Fire's also found, and the Gladiators are back in control as the percentage was approaching even.
So now for the Gladiators, rally. They still have this grab. Maybe you're just trying to get FRD demech'd and then use it, but you've had it for, 3-4 fights now. You probably would have gotten another one by now.
Especially
we'll see how they decide to use it, yeah.
Especially Teru duplicating a Diva, I guess maybe you don't feel... Oh no, he duplicated Chungsik actually, so that wasn't even an extra deterrent from using that ultimate from space. At some point, there has to be a grab. Ideally this next fight, just to end the round. Shu's close to a nano boost here as well. The timing is so fortuitous for the Gladiators right now, and that's a darn good bite grenade. Perfect target as well. Get rid of the Diva mech, and so you can find an easier Graviton Surge. It's fired off here by Space, and there's the Death Blossom. Lynxer, who he can't stave away the Gladiators even with that ultimate. Trying to win her out of the mech, and will be removed. It's going to be a duplicator Winston with Primal, and a sound barrier provided by Fire. Wolf's also here with a Coalescence. Wonder maybe there's a world where you can layer those support ultimates less here, and the Titans, even with all that extra durability, that survivability, they can't stay alive in this round.
So the Gladiators will take our first point. It's one thing to watch for the remainder of the series is the compositions these two teams play. A lot of what we saw in that first week kind of looked like it was tending towards more double shield. This week, especially in the last series, we saw a lot of Winston. I know even some like a Risa Diva at times. See if these two teams kind of break that mold as well and want to play more Winston-based kind of compositions.
Yeah, that was our conclusion coming out of last week. I think Custer said it best. He said, look, I think the reality is that you have to play double shield right now. In fairness, we saw the abilities of double shield teams like Houston and Atlanta showcased a lot last week. But in the APAC region, Matt, this is the comp. In fact, sometimes you're seeing Arta Mercy with the double dive tanks in many cases. So this is what Chengdu's doing, this is what Philly's doing. A lot of the teams just want to play with mobility, even without sort of Tracer and Sombra in the mix here. A little harder to shut down the Winston without Sombra, I guess. And Wrecking Ball also stronger for that reason. The Gladiators here still have Bird Ring on the McCree, so defensive options still with that good mid-range hit scan pressure.
and the Titans kind of put themselves in by that health pack and haven't been able to get out yet. This time they go straight to the high ground. This is a rough position because what do you get out of your Moira there? The Moira obviously can't access that. Yeah. The Moira just stuck on the low ground. They're still looking like they're trying to make this work though, as they've gotten Linkser in position to take out Birdring. Nobody in control of the point just yet. Looks like the Titans though, they have the player advantage. They might be able to get there.
I love that from Linkser, who's been quietly overachieving so far in this map. He links up perfectly with Chungsik on the high ground after getting rid of Teru solo, essentially on the low ground. So good start for the Titans. Linkser just has to avoid Birdering's flash and Skewed, just stunning him up constantly. But look at the support ultimates here built up by the Gladiators. They have both. And again, Muse and a Nano Boost is always a bad combo if you're the Titans. And we'll see Birdering as a safe angle. No one looking at him right now. In a good position here just to get free unanswered damage. The Flashbang fan combo. Death Blossom here for Linkser. He realizes there's no flash available, but it doesn't matter. The uncontested Reaper ultimate finds absolutely nothing because of that defense matrix, Matt.
Yeah, so you end up losing the first fight for the Gladiators, but you end up building up both of those support ultimates, which end up coming out on top. And now you've built up the Primal Rage with the use of the Nano. You have Kevster with a duplicate. We'll see what the Titans try and do with this sound barrier. The sound barrier coming in here for Fire. Could engage with that. We've seen them do that, and other teams do that quite often, especially when the aggression could come in quick with the Primal Rage and the duplicate.
Terry will be looking. Double Winston. Yeah. Double trouble. Monkey magic. Okay, so Body Grenade hits Chungsik early in the fight there, but it doesn't really seem to bother him. This is a bad place to be if you're the Los Angeles Gladiators right now. Good work by Skewed to create some spacing, but has to give up his life in order to do so. And Matt, that fight really only goes one way once you see the target of the duplication by Teru.
Yeah, I mean, once he gets the duplicate onto the Winston, you have Chungsik up there on the high ground. You're able to cause a lot of trouble, as this is going to be a sound barrier here. And this is just Kevster in space, but because of that kill that goes down, you feel like you need to use that ultimate to sustain. They try and use a speed boost behind it, and they can't get any kills. This should be good for the Gladiators.
This has to be coalescence now as well from the Titans. They don't really get what they were looking for with the sound barrier, so they're forced to use two of their support ultimates in very short space of one another, and may still not win the fight. Linkser there just gets put in the cone of silence by Space's defense matrix, and now Space is freed up to clean up the fight. I really think right now, based on how we've seen teams play this meta map, that D.Va defense matrix is so important, not only to shut down Reaper, but also to facilitate your own.
And that call by the Titans to use the support ultimates there, I actually think that's the right call. You lose Teru, which is such a large source of damage, and you know that it's Kevster in space there with nobody else. They use the sound barrier, keep everybody topped up, push through those players, take them out, and then you still have that man advantage and you still have the point. The issue is Space and Kevster do such a great job reading it and get out of the way.
D.Va duplicated for Kevster, in he goes.
A huge biotic grenade here.
Yeah, absolutely ruined. Fire won't be able to stay alive to that one at all. And there you see the problem for Linkser. Okay, Death Blossom. There's two D.Vas. How many? That's like, how many seconds? That's 8 seconds of defense matrix, I think. 6, maybe. There's no way you're getting anything done. And you're in the middle of the enemy formation with your ultimate being shut down. What is...
All right, we're fighting this.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. I mean, that is a duplicate there. Deadeye used to just prevent them from coming out. So, I mean, and that's a huge ultimate there that you end up using.
Birdering gets singled out here. Yeah, Muse went to point, but probably needs to peel back for his backline, and it's a pretty good timing here for Skewed to go for a rally. Birdering had to get given a nano boost there, and I'm convinced it was just for the defensive aspect of it. He was getting pressured very, very heavily, and the Titans flip back the point somehow, despite being in a play at a disadvantage, so that's one way of delaying what may well be the inevitable here, is that the Gladiators are back in control, and Lynx is down. Sound barrier is used, but Fire's put to sleep right after. This is a disaster situation for Vancouver.
Oh yeah, and Chengdu gets hit with a big purple as another biotic grenade comes in from Shu. As Linkser had to go back and take the point. There was nobody else there for the Titans. And the Gladiators just have to not fight him first, take out some players over by the health pack, then wrap back towards the point. Linkser will get one with a Widow at the end, but not enough, as it'll be the Gladiators who take map number 1.
If Vancouver want a W or breadsticks, they're probably not going about it in the best way right now. A tough start for them, despite the fact they bring the Echo in. Teru, who really is quite powerful on that role. They get a double Winston duplication. They duplicate a D.Va at times. But it's the Gladiators who look like they're a bit more comfortable and even get away with playing Zarya in that first round. These two teams want to play Winston-based compositions. It's definitely going to be exciting. Let's see if the Titans can make their take on the meta work in map 2 in just a moment.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by T-Mobile, America's largest and fastest 5G network. Set your sights on the competition with T-Mobile. And by Xfinity, the preferred internet provider of the Overwatch League. The Overwatch League is brought to you by Coca-Cola, the official refreshment of the Overwatch League, and by IBM, the official cloud and AI partner of the Overwatch League.
Treadlock now into the backline and gets with the both support.
Over the top, gets a double!
And here's a coalescence from the high ground for Rolf, and wow, the timing on that one looks so good.
Really.
And Fire gets two! That is crazy! Time and a great stick from Dal. That's three from him!
That's crazy, they make it work!
That's right, the newest addition to the list for the Vancouver Titans is none other than Changshik, who maybe for newer fans is not a super known name, but one of the most successful teams in North American contenders was definitely Fusion University, and this gentleman was at the helm back in 2019, and obviously prior to that, Chengdu Panthers. So that's 2018. That's quite a while. Chunksic getting the recall here to replace Shredlock, of course, who has announced his retirement. And look, Matt, you kind of put it out. You said, I mean, it's pretty daring to play dive with a player that may not have been practicing with the team for so long, but in general, he looks pretty darn good. I don't know if we go too much further than serviceable at this stage because it's very early days, but the Titans had some bite in them in that map of Ilios.
Yeah, I didn't think the Titans looked that bad on Ilios, to be quite honest. I thought their performance was pretty good considering what kind of team we view the Gladiators as, and we can jump right back in the game. It'll be Junkertown for map number 2. This one gives the Titans a little bit more of a chance, right? You can play Linkster on the Widowmaker, allow him to try and take these duels with Birdring.
And again, we saw Junkertown already earlier on today, where the Dallas Fuel definitely had a different take on the meta, one that suited them quite comfortably. We are going to see Vancouver Titans start on defense, and we'll know what kind of composition they're trying to play. This would be interesting indeed. Soldier 76 repass. We have Orisa with Diva, which is not so crazy, I guess, if if Fried maybe wants to have that extra mobility that maybe you don't get. Also trying to control the right-hand side where Terry's just teleported to. It's really important to have some extra off-angle presence there as defenders. But the legs, Matt. Talk to me about the legs.
So this could be, because remember when we saw in the previous match with the Dallas U in London, where they had the Widowmaker and you played from such a far distance that you were able to get dove on pretty quickly.
Yeah.
With the legs, you can play a little bit closer. You're more mobile than, let's say, a McCree. More consistent damage, but they're going to play really close to the door here, so... No Moth coming in here for the Gladiators, so just point that out. So you're still playing the Brig. This time, no Ana. You're going to be playing the Batiste.
Everyone has such a slightly different look. So interesting so far to see how this June Joust meta looks. Linkster can always run back to Chunksic, by the way, if he feels threatened. The legs are good for that, oddly enough. But yeah, we'll see the Titans playing pretty close to start with here. Space just trying to puzzle a way out of this, just to try and unravel this setup. And with Rolf going down, that'll do it. That's the pick they're looking for.
Yeah, that's a lot of the healing. That's what kind of gives you the ability to sustain on the cart. Once you lose the Moira, you have to back out, no matter all the damage that's going on in the back. Let's see if they commit to this yet again. Do you keep playing the Soldier? Is it something you just wanted at the start of the game? Potentially try and get close to the spawn door? At least from what it looks like now, Linkster will come out again here on the 76.
Yep, again, if the concern's trying to get back in position quickly. By the way, obviously Lucio Moira here still for the Titans, like you mentioned, so very different support setup to what the Gladiators have so far. But Birdring, by the way, is like number 2 in Dynamite kills last stage, or in the main melee, should I say, so he's pretty accurate when it comes to those. Gonna force Linkster out of line of sight. Linkster can't do anything in his position, by the way. This negates Soldier 76's presence completely.
And he also gets outranged here. Like, consistent damage from the Soldier is nice, but at far distances, you're going to lose to this Ashe every single time. So Linkster will switch. Going to play the Hangzhou. Interesting, he doesn't want to play like an Ashe of his own, even trying to play the Widow. So 2 heroes Linkster's very strong at. His Hangzhou's good as well, but the Hangzhou really kind of values like the shield break here. Maybe you're able to break the shield, get the... You're still playing the Lucio with the Moira, even with the Orisa, so maybe you're just trying to get the Orisa and the Reaper like behind Muse's shield, put some pressure on the supports.
FRD, always chewing, playing in the front here. Linkster gets picked off. I mean, he switches to Hangzhou here, hoping to make use of the verticality on this second part of the map, but Kevster just runs him down. It's a tough job for Linkster right now, who doesn't seem to have found a DPS hero in this match that he's really comfortable on. Kevster's forced back for a time, but the Titans keep losing players right at the start. First it was their Moira, second it was their Hangzhou, and being at a player disadvantage this whole map really hasn't helped.
Yeah, and they still run, after the sound barrier here, you'll still have the Lucio Moira composition. If you're going to play the Reaper, you kind of need it, unless you're going to play like Dive, right, with the Winston and the D.Va, but it doesn't seem what the Titans want to do here on Junkertown. So the Gladiators will have Rally here. Kevster will have this Duplicate. You're probably going to get an Amp Matrix as well. That's a Supercharger that comes out here from Chengsik. Kick things off.
Oh.
Ooh, Teru thought he was being sneaky there. They saw him right away.
Yeah, homie ain't slick. They know he was there the whole time. There's a rally in play and a Brigitte looking to get the bash on. Chunksik goes down to the self-destruct here, and that's a big problem. No tanks here for Vancouver. And to point two, they'll say, thanks for the memories.
All right, so now they switch and they'll play the Winston. I like this composition much better with the Winston, with the Lucio and the Moira. Just like synergizes better. You don't really like. We talked about this the other last week. I think we casted a team that we saw run the Orisa with the Moira and the Lucio, and it felt so out of whack that they tried to run it here. It doesn't really work. This will be a Dragon from Linkser. That's like from the spawn, so just trying to split players off, which they're able to do, but Bob creates enough space that they're able to keep the card going.
Kevster wants to try and get a perch up here, and space is going to help him just for a moment. Constantly looking towards Muse, just making sure that the Orisa is okay, and that defense matrix just a little bit too late. Linkser comes alive now. Storm Arrows have found 2 kills already. Great way to end a fight before it really begins. Terry may have fallen, this could still turn around. Rool's gone down, and it's all gone wrong. The Gladiators, they're ready to receive this push from the Titans. Oh, Linkser just says, what more do I have to do?
Supercharged down, and then the Brig just swinging on through. That is a dangerous combination. Skewed builds up another Rally here. So Rally, you have the self-destruct to buy some space. I believe Teru's up on the high ground behind them, trying to set up for the big Death Blossom.
Okay, Chunksik goes in, and the Gladiators are able to disengage, despite lacking a Lucio pretty easily here. Muse soaks up most of Rolf's Coalescence damage, and the Titans look no better than they started. They still at least have a sound barrier, so those support ultimates could go a long way. But how does this self-destruct work? Okay, it gets Birdring here. He's pressured, and there's nowhere to run, especially with Chunksik that's all over him. And Teru's able to find a Death Blossom here on the carpet, goes down to the self-destruct. This is messy stuff from both sides. But the point is that Skewed is able to sit here on the cart, and a focusing beam means that there's no tanks again. And the Gladiators add an extra one to their ranks with a duplicate from Kevster on a D.Va, and he's already built up that self-destruct. He could have 2 if he wants. Yeah, Fire taken down, desperate stalling there, that's all he can really do. And that's a force back. That's the Gladiators getting across the line with, frankly, a decent amount of time to work with.
Not as good as the Dallas Fuel, but still really strong. As the Brig really pays off when the Titans are trying to dive in. The Supercharger with the Brig just swinging there with Muse. Skewed was able to really keep them going for a while. Just the amount of Inspire healing plus just damage from Brig, being able to build up those rallies pretty quick, ended up being a lot for the Titans to deal with. The Titans always, like, they kind of seemed in the middle of 2 compositions, right? They weren't exactly trying to play slow, but they couldn't exactly speed things up in the fashion that you would like them to see. I thought they were getting better effects with the speed boosts and whatnot when they actually had the Winston in the mix than the Orisa. So let's see what they decide to play here on offense. Potentially you can bring the Widowmaker in. We'll take a look at a replay here. This is from Skewed's POVs. This is what I was talking about. This looks like I believe this is when Linkser got the double. Yeah. And then the Supercharger goes down here and just, I mean, look at this. I mean, that's 50% roll charge in just that small span.
There's no rally, there's no nano boost either, you know? It's just he's actually shield dancing Muse's barrier really effectively, and he gets the bash straight away on Teru's Reaper, who, I mean, that's really the main hero that's supposed to thrive for the Titans in that situation. That's the issue we're dealing with Brig as well. The Titans are playing Lucio Moira, so they don't really have a great answer to shut down someone getting into their backline like the Gladiators do with this comp. It's a very safe setup for Los Angeles again here.
Well, now the Titans commit to this double shield, so they won't play the Lucio, they won't play the D.Va, Orisa Sigma, Batiste with the Brig. And this is really about letting your Widowmaker trying to take over the game. Linkser against Birdring. This is like a classic Season 1 throwback.
Absolutely.
Widowmaker matchup.
It's like a Houston-London game.
Yeah.
Birdring spots Linkser there. I mean, these two, in fairness, were considered to be top of their class during their heydays. mostly around Season 1, to be fair, for both of them. And we'll see what Birdring does here. Again, he's very, very safe. Obviously, the Gladiators wants to really only take fights where Birdring has purview. The Titans made a mistake when they were defending of having Linkser up on the high ground, but then fighting inside this room for no apparent reason and really nullifying the presence of the Soldier Mat.
And the Titans are working for an angle here on the side. Like, they're trying to get FRD here, trying to get a shield up in the way, and they make it around the corner. They're able to deal with space. But the rest of the fight that goes down on the card, they're not coming out on top of.
No supports either. Birdring, dominant stuff. And the pickoffs were really quite crucial. Yes, you lose space, but you saw just how many cooldowns were being thrown at space just to get that one Sigma pickoff. You're still dealing with a fully stacked backline and Birdring in a safe spot. Not a great start for Vancouver here. Linkser definitely needs to open things up. And Teru, something tells me, Matt, it's a bit too much of a goal for him to cross, and he has to play against a Brig here as a Genji with no Ana support.
Yeah, I mean, he was on the cart trying to play with the tanks, which is all well and good. The issue is they have a Brig on the other side. That's a huge pickoff, though. Skewed off on his own on the side. That's a big pickoff from Linkser.
Shu has to use a Regenerative Burst immediately because Teru comes to pay him a visit. Gets rid of that drone as well. And there it is. Perfect pickoff, finding one of those supports and starting the fight in a comfortable way. Teru actually starts to get to play more aggressive in Skewed's absence. Now at least you know the win condition for Vancouver. It really does revolve around Linkser starting the fight well.
I mean, that's another pick from Linkser. The last fight gets skewed. This time with the pick on the Birdring, this might solidify them even getting the card across the line, as Gladiators will look like they were potentially trying to set up to get a touch. As soon as you lose your Widowmaker, everybody stalls out for a quick second. So, ooh, Muse takes out Linkser there. As that potentially could have been a halt off to the side as he was trying to get an angle.
So how does Teru get good blade value against Batiste Immortality Field, which, I mean, is annoying, and the Brigitte?
Well, I think it's more of what's going to happen with this Gravitic Flux. Like, does he come in and you just kind of use the Gravitic Flux on top of him when he tries to dive? We've seen a lot.
Oh, no! Muse, the other end of the pincer, collides with the Titans from behind. They're not ready for it. The Gladiators take initiative here. Oh, the blade! You're out of your mind, Teru. Three from Teru. Immortality Field making 4. No! Nano boost and 5 kills for Teru. Are you kidding? He gets them all inside the small room, but that fight should have been lost. That should have been dead to rights. Teru with 6.
We gotta get a replay of that. Well, to pop the blade in that type of scenario, I mean, that is in the situation that he is in. Let's take a look at this. So you're already down your break. You are now down your Batiste. So they're down 4 players here, and he just turns it single-handedly. The blade inside that small corridor is just wild.
I mean, the Gladiators are shell-shocked, so are we. I'm still reeling. Muse steps out now, and he has the widescreen HD TV to get some damage boost here. And Lynx has gone down. Yeah, I mean, their backline is looking awfully sore, and the Titans, I mean, the Gladiators are just completely rocked by that previous play. I don't blame them. They're one of the most insane Genji plays I've ever seen. No nano boost, no backup. There's an Immortality Field in play as well.
Oh, man, what it's like shades of Immortals agilities, right, on Gibraltar in the server room. That one was a crazy blade. That's up there. That's a wild play there from Teru that has given the Titans a real chance on this map to set even a better time than the Gladiators did.
Absolutely unhinged. Linkser takes a sidebar, picks up the Mega. Infrasight now active for the Widowmaker of the Titans. Gravitic Flux will catch, by the looks of things, Rolf, and yeah, he doesn't have any chance to make use of the Immortality Field he deployed to the ground. It's a nasty spot to get caught. Space, though, blown up. Linkser finds the headshot. The accretion was also there to ensure the kill. And Kevster copies, I mean, this is classic Kevster. He'll have a blade as well. Free blade, don't mind if I do. Linkser thinks twice about firing and still is subject to the sharp edge of Kevster's sword.
They'll get Teru on the way out, so you have to play quite aggressive, quite close here. If you're the Gladiators, you don't want to give, you want to have them invest this blade that Teru's going to have before like the end of the map, right? You don't want to allow him to get another one or get another one fast. Take these fights close. The payload's still moving backwards. you're able to get him to use the blade here early. You know, let's say you win the fight, amazing. Even if you lose it, you're still going to give yourself a really good chance to get a defensive hold.
2:15 on the clock here. The Titans have fallen behind in time bank. And yes, the possibility of a defensive hold is definitely there, because that Ant Matrix does very little except give the Titans position here on this turbine, and that's a cheeky accretion. Rolf's not in position to really give any healing right now, but Shu has gone down. So it's a longer term to go without your Batiste if you're the Gladiators. Oh, excuse me. Birdring gets this random headshot on Teru, forces him back for just a moment, and is able to get away alive. Linkser falls.
Yeah, Linkser is really low, and Kevster goes over the top right above him and takes him out with a focusing beam. You burnt a minute off the clock here if you're the Gladiators. So we have Gravitic Lux here, and you're gonna maybe get Birdring. Yeah, you do.
Yeah, but only one kill for the Flux, and you've lost Rolf. Muse is able to pick that kill up, but here's the blade again. Teru's going to skirt around the edges of that Immortality field deftly, but still runs headlong into Muse, who may as well be a golden brick wall at this stage. Pride Winner's going to be able to find a kill with the accretion, but that's it for the Titans here, Matt.
Well, we'd have to get a replay of this. I actually believe, like, Muse is actually fighting fire on the point. Doesn't really have any line of sight on Teru. And at least from the top map, it looks like fire actually whip shots Muse back right into Teru and just ends up killing him. Crazy play there. So, Birdring with a headshot there on a Linkser is... No, Linkser was getting the better of Birdring, really, for a lot of this portion of the map. Is Teru, yeah, you're not going to get out alive there. But Birdring's really come alive here the last few fights.
Immortality field deployed early. Teru, once more, playing aggressively here. Gravitic Flux looks like it was cancelled from space where he didn't get the value he was looking for, but Rolf and Fire are very low. Kevster, double kill with the blade as he duplicates again. And now it's the Gladiators getting value from a Genji when they don't even have one on their roster. Kevster looking mighty fine on this Echo, and we're in the dying seconds now. The Titans have to make something happen.
You have Chengdu going over to the Wrecking Ball, just trying to get a touch. I mean, best case, he gets a touch and you're able to push players back, but not able to get to the court. That'll be the Gladiators going up 2-0 quick.
Again, the Gladiators, Matt, not known for being the flashiest of sorts here. In fact, I definitely say that award goes to Teru on that map. Normally, saw him play a bunch of Mei, bit of Echo. The Genji comes out, and I've seen one of the most insane unassisted Dragon Blades in a extremely short-handed scenario, going up against an Immortality field that I've ever seen. Truly incredible individual skill, but it's not enough to guarantee the map for the Vancouver Titans. And they are now staring down the long, long barrel of a potential sweep. Birdring, by the way, just saw the play of the game. He types in chat, holy moly. Even him, he's completely blown away. Insane stuff. We'll be back with map 3, ladies and gentlemen. The Titans fighting for their life.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by T-Mobile, America's largest and fastest 5G network. Set your sights on the competition with T-Mobile. And by Xfinity, the preferred internet provider of the Overwatch League. The Overwatch League is brought to you by Pringles. Stay in the game. And by NetApp, the official data management partner of the Overwatch League.
So if you're not like Custer and you remembered to get your pick'ems in last week, hope you didn't get boomed too badly. Of course, those that haven't yet, remember, new tournament means we have a new bracket unlocked. So I think last tournament, May Melee, we had like over 2,000 private leaderboards built just for pick'ems. So hopefully you slapped your friends around in pick'ems and you're ready to do it again this month. You can get involved at pick'em.overwatchleague.com. You'll be submitting your picks for this week's matches and of course the next week and the next. Get involved and give yourself a chance to win yourself this very nice looking Widowmaker statue and $500. Big time money. Let's have a look at our power rankings presented by IBM Watson. And this is our team ranking here. And you'll notice that the Gladiators and the Titans, neither have really fallen in step, I think, with where they'd like to be so far in the league. The Gladiators sit 14th despite going a respectable 2-2 in the May Melee map, but not being able to play in the knockouts definitely hurt them.
Yeah, I think maybe our expectations were like so high for the Gladiators that like we kind of looked at their performance as I think they definitely underperformed, but maybe we were a little bit too harsh on them. You know, the Dallas Fuel do finish 2-2, but they get in to the knockouts and they're able to go the distance. We do have Moth coming in here for Skewed. I thought Skewed played tremendous the first two maps. But going into Hanamura, you definitely want a Lucio to be able to be played. So that's why you have Moth come in. 2-0 up are the Gladiators. I got my pick'ems in, Mitch. I got the first match correct. If I get the second match correct, this map would be going towards the Gladiators. I think this is a tournament where the Gladiators desperately need to bounce back. I think this game means way more to them and just setting the expectations for the June Joust.
So Moth comes back in here for Hanamura, like you pointed out, and Lucio will be nice to have. Also the option for a defensive Mercy to pair with Kevster, which could definitely come in handy. Pocketed Echo is really a thing right now over in the Eastern region, and some teams I think are starting to pick it up here as well. Not the only way to play it, it's the best part. Even with hero pools, even with Zenyatta, Reinhardt, Sombra, and Tracer out of rotation currently, still a ton of different compositions that we've seen from these teams. Now the Titans, though, we're looking at them. Looks like they want to play double shield setup here. Teru, sadly, moving off the Genji, but to a more standard pick, and it will be a defensive Mercy to pocket that Echo for Teru. And Lynx is on the Ashe.
Linkser and Teru are doing everything they can to get these breadsticks. To get all the people out there these breadsticks. I mean,
man, I want breadsticks now, dude.
Trying their hearts out. They do sound good. I mean,
just
if they
carbs, actually just carbs.
Yeah,
I'll take breadsticks, pasta, whatever really. It's all fine.
Oh, just a little sauce they come with breadsticks.
Just get it in me. Yeah, exactly. A little bit of this, that, and the other. All right, here come the Gladiators now. All right, so they play. Yeah, okay, we do play the Lucio as we expect. Shoes on the Baptiste here. Symmetra play. We'll switch now. Yes, in fact, wholesale changes here. Sigma, Hangzhou, Echo.
Yeah, double shield here for both teams. No Ashe on the side of the Gladiators. They go the Hangzhou, so they're not really worried much about the long-range battle. I think they actually feel like that with the Mercy pocket, if you get Linkser weak enough or force him into a different position, you can just get the focusing beam down on him. And it's really just about the shield pressure that you can create. Try and work down those shields, both of them, with the Hangzhou and try and work your way in.
That may well be the win condition. It's a little undefined, and Lynx has given enough time to find that pick on Kevster. Muse goes gold. Immortality Field also used now. That'll facilitate the Resurrect on Kevster. And the Gladiators have a very advanced position and 6 players still standing right now. Again, they still need to exercise that win condition, Matt. They get rid of the shields, but what's the next step? Perhaps the kill on Linkser is the way to go.
I mean, that's huge, because you have the Mercy and the Echo for both teams fighting to the side. She will actually take out Teru. And this puts Fire in a difficult position. What do? You didn't make it to res Linkser. You're not in a position to res your Echo either, as things falling apart for the Titans.
And that's a tough job for Mercy in any case, right? You want to resurrect, but it's too risky to go for that. The whole team's playing on the other side of the map, and then all of a sudden your Echo is blown up pretty quickly. Again, it's tough, I think, pocketing the Echo here, because Echo has to get closer than Farah does to really have that impact. Focusing Beam is much shorter range than those Farah rockets, so that's risky for the pocket too.
You have a Valkyrie here, Ant Matrix. You can use like a Halt plus the Dragon to kick things off. This will be the Gravitic Flux. It actually gets interrupted, and then Birdring takes out Teru. This is bad for the Titans.
Perfect connection by Space without accretion. Shuts Pride Wiener down. Fire's going to go for the Valkyrie here, but he's already lost his whole front line. It's Chunksy going to fall. Dual Kepster, that's nasty. Valkyrie makes it really hard to hit Mercy with that hit scan pressure, but still, big connections by Kepster. Bob even gets used. Bob will persist for a while after being used by an Echo duplication, and that is really fast, man.
That's not good for the Titans. That's not good.
Can you elaborate?
It's not good. So this one's going to be tough. Everything that could have went wrong really kind of did there for the Titans. Especially like Friedwiener has to use his Gravitic Flux because it's the only thing they have to stop them from coming in. It gets interrupted. He then gets halted into a Dragon. You've already lost the player at that point. You don't get anything with the Valk. A lot of things in sequence. All that could have went wrong did go wrong for the Titans. Obviously, a really rough go. Putting in a new main tank. We don't know how long they've been able to practice with Changsik. And quite frankly, I think he's actually played very well today. I think it's really been, I think it's the support line really that's got to step up here for the Titans. This Bob, I think, gets hit with either hits the pole or he gets fluxed. He hits the pole.
Oh. Well, I guess that's some beef to go with the breadstick.
Well, to be fair to Linkser, if he goes a little bit further to the right and uses the Bob, most likely the Bob runs directly through both of the center poles and goes off the side, doesn't he?
Yeah, he runs off the point, right?
So he's trying to like angle it so it hits maybe like the right one, and I think probably a little bit of damage comes in, moves his crosshair to the side.
I don't think there's any winning for him there. He's already stuck in spawn with like seconds to go.
I mean, the Bob isn't the reason they lost there. Let's put it that way. It could have bought a little bit of time. Might not have changed the game, but here we go. Full-on dive with the Genji in the mix here for the Titans.
I love it.
This time it will be Linkser on Genji as Teru pick up the Echo. I think they know that Teru is stuck at the choke. So they're just kind of looking for him now, trying to get him a little bit weak, which they do, and they'll take him out.
That's the second time Shu has picked off Teru with that Baptiste pressure. Now, sure, Ash is maybe not great against this dive setup. Maybe McCree might be a little bit better, a bit safer. It doesn't matter. I mean, the Gladiators have such a it's such a low-risk composition, I should say, right? Ton of healing, resurrect potential, 2 shields to work with. The Titans have to get Genji in a position to benefit from this Moira healing. That's a big ask.
And you're making your Echo play into Baptiste, Ash, and a Echo that's pocketed by a Mercy. Really difficult for Teru. Sure, you're able to get, the Genji and the Winston D.Va into a position to jump on a Muse or Space, but they have just so much healing, immortality field, just damage output. Not really worried.
Coalescence, at least, is a pretty positive way to start this fight. Rolf, mostly for healing, but now, I mean, there's nothing Space can do about that. He just has to accept his fate. Rolf, good work, singling out the Sigma. Teru goes down again early in that fight. A bit frustrating for him as he's way behind in that ult percentage, and Kepster has a chance to duplicate Chunksik or something similar. No, Chunksik is down, so it'll have to be the D.Va instead as far as I can see. Yeah, that's enough though.
Yeah, but you have, if this is a duplicate from Kepster in the D.Va mech, you've got a res onto Muse, so you're going to be able to win this fight if you're the Gladiators. So you hold yet again on defense, you do give up 50% of the point, so FRD will jump off the side. Coming in now, though, Linkser's Blade will be the key. You have no support ult. Shu will come back on the Ana, so potentially trying to land a big Biotic Grenade as they jump in. Sleep Dart onto Linkser here. But you also have the Valkyrie. Moth can just go up in the sky, try and heal everybody through it. You don't have a nano for this blade.
Didn't seem to bother Teru too much, but something tells me that was really a once in a blue moon kind of thing. So that's the question. Where do I go with this blade? Can I
Playing
find...
for Coalescence.
And Wolf has it now. So every fight seems to be coal available, but it takes time to build, and that time is dwindling. 1 minute and 3 remains. Lynx is in though, looking for the Ana. Shu's in trouble. Defense Matrix doesn't save him, but Kevster deals with Lynxa. It's a trade. Remember, Moth is playing Mercy. If they can facilitate a resurrect here, then that blade does nothing.
I mean, he is so deep as well, Lynxer, when he uses that blade. I mean, nobody else really. Chengsic, the only one that's close, is he'll go over to the Widowmaker. Just kind of tells you where we are in the game. Is
another dude.
A little bit of a desperation as this will be 2 Divas out of the field. Lynxer actually kills Moth in the choke, so maybe you're able to keep this going if you're the Titans, but...
They're on point. Yeah, spawn advantage is definitely here for Vancouver, Matt.
Yeah.
Getting rid of the Mercy is big.
If Bob can maybe get a touch.
Here we go.
Yeah.
He touches.
Gets moved back, but he's still getting a touch.
He's on the point. Don't you worry about that. Space now. Oh my. The DM for Bob. Okay, I don't know what the Gladiators can really make happening. Yeah, everyone's in position, but...
Yeah. Space is in touch.
Yeah, look, that's on the individual there, unfortunately. Space is just not able to keep it going for quite long enough. And this means an awkward stagger right now. Remember, quick respawns for defenders in this position, though, so not the end of the world. It's not great.
Yes, maybe they were going to use the nano there on the space. This will be a duplicate here from Teru onto Bird Ring, and I believe he just did that to stay alive. You had space and Bird Ring down there, yeah.
Oh god, the Gladiators are letting this fall apart in a big way. Lynx is down. Chunksic's in a pretty safe position right now, but he's not capping from here. He's going to drop eventually. He does so. There's a Brig. Moth now on the Brigitte. And Muse is just going to sit in the corner here. Only the Coalescence can hurt Muse, and he's getting a fair bit of healing right now. Moth now going to guarantee some decent Inspire uptime there. You saw the proc, the AoE coming out from him. And Muse is just unkillable. That's your best opportunity you're going to get here, Matt, I think.
It might. I mean, Kevster just up on the high ground, dives Lynxer. He gets 0 health because they're just playing the Moira and the Lucio. We're really like Lynxer and Teru than the ones who have opened up any of these opportunities. But as soon as they lost Lynxer, Kevster's just up on the high ground, just sticky bombs, try shots from a distance. No worry, nobody was even coming for him or looking at him. And you can't let an Echo go that free.
This is quite the gambit. Lynxer against the Arista composition, looking for picks. Chunksic's going to hope to try and give him something by knocking people out in the open. Not the Battle Cow. Not with Fortify anyway. Supercharger's gone down for Muse there. That self-destruct just sort of provokes Space to do the same, and Birdring gets rid of fire. That's crucial. Mid-round kill. Oh, another Genji duplication. Run for the hills, Vancouver. Looks like there's a bigger monster, and it's Kevster's blade gets shut down early. It won't matter. The Titans have very little left to use.
So a minute to go. This makes more sense now, not playing the Widow. Although the Widow really got them that first point when he was able to take out Moth. But now this makes more sense. You're able to get the Reaper in there with the Genji. You stay on Genji because you're close to the Blade.
Sure.
The Blade plus Coalescence. That might be strong enough to get you the point cap. But still, some options here for the Gladiators. They do have a nano. You can nano the Brig here, nano Kevster, and then you also have Bob can test the point.
All right, Teru, can you do it again to keep your team alive in the map in the series? It's time for the Blade. Oh, whoa! That doesn't go the way you would expect it to. Still, Moth is going to go down. Teru, rather resilient. The Coalescence definitely helping, keeping him nice and healthy. And they get rid of both supports. The Vancouver Titans, that's their second best opportunity to take the point. It looks like they're making good on this one, Matt.
Yes, it looks like they will be able to take it. It'll be Moth who jumps on. You're just trying to get it into OT here. If you're the Gladiators, which you do. So they do get it into OT. No time on the clock. Still 4 minutes for the Gladiators to win the map.
Yeah, it's tough stuff for the Vancouver Titans. The Paris Eternal had to do this, I think, in week 1 or 2. It's just, fighting just to try and force a condition where you can maybe get a draw. That is the situation now for Vancouver. Again, Lynxer and Teru both having a go on the Genji. Custer tweeted it, you know what I mean? I think he's pretty adamant about people not ruining his games, but he sort of said that Genji is not meta. It's something that the Dallas Fuel are able to make work specifically well. It looks like the Titans, you know, kind of enjoy trying to make that happen. I thought that one of their best looks, Matt, was on Ilios when they made that sort of Reaper Echo comp. I'm kind of simping for that setup right now. I think it's probably one of the safest, the best ways to go. But so, look, we get a lot of variety for Vancouver, Matt, but they're just a couple too many steps behind the Gladiators, who don't look squeaky clean themselves, right? But it's more than enough to get the job done here.
Yeah, the Gladiators don't look... I mean, they don't look invincible, right?
Yep.
Like the Dallas Fuel in our previous series just looked absolutely lights out. Like, I don't really think there was anything that London could have done in that series. And I think, you know, in the long run, the Titans, I think, are a little bit, you know, outmatched here against the Gladiators as well. But the Titans have had some really, like, heroic moments from Linkser and Teru, and you know, they made it relatively close in certain situations where, yeah, the Gladiators haven't looked lights out in this series. Although... maybe just kind of the explosive nature of the team, it's just not like that, right? Maybe they're more of a team that kind of want to works you down, not these, you know, hero highlight plays that you see from like Sparkle and whatnot. And they just want to play the game the right way, try and just work teams down and get wins. So they go back with the Hangzhou pick yet again. Same exact way they took that offense.
Well, you talked about heroism from Linkser and Teru. It's going to have to come from every single member of the Titans for 4 minutes straight. Not a small job at all. Linkser turns his attention now. The Gladiators are a little split, but I don't think they mind this, Matt.
No, I mean, you let this Hangzhou take the high ground and this off angle. Like, what do the tanks do at the choke? This is an amp matrix. This will force both tanks back into such a tough position. I mean, you can't let that happen here if you're the Titans. Giving up that type of position to Bird Ring, I mean, it just puts FRD and Changsik in a no-win situation.
Resurrect on point for Kevster, and that'll be enough to get the job done. The Titans cannot hold up against the pressure of the Gladiators, who look to be just a little bit cleaner. Now, is it sexy Overwatch? Maybe not always from the Gladiators, Matt, but they play the game, and they play correctly. I think that's the big takeaway there. The Titans, you can see they're a few days, maybe practice sessions, just behind in the execution of these comps, if not the strategy itself.
Yeah, I think they have to go back, and I don't even think it's really their kind of compositions. I think they had the right compositions. I think it's just kind of the way they're playing them in certain situations. Like right there, you can't let the Echo, the Hangzhou with the Mercy take an off angle on your tanks in the choke, especially when they're going up against, you know, the Orisa Sigma with a Batiste. The Amp Matrix come down, and what do you want the tanks to do? They back into the corner away from the Amp Matrix.
I mean, that Matrix covers both entrances, by the way.
Yeah, like, and they're just getting mowed down by the Hangzhou damage at range. And you don't have, like, any way of responding from your team, where I thought Linkser and Teru both put up pretty good games today. I think you really got to kind of nail down the support line here for the Titans. I think you gotta see them, you know, whether it's you know, give them a little bit more health, a little bit more peel, just keep them alive a little bit longer in some of these fights to give them a chance.
Now, talking about support lines, I think that was one of the most impressive parts of the Gladiators' play today. And our player of the match, presented by Xfinity, goes to Sun, who actually got subbed out for map number 3. But Skewed was an absolute raid boss today. The Brig play was insane. He has 94% kill participation on Ilios, and then like something like 86, 88 on Junkertown. He was involved in almost every single kill there. This shutdown was ridiculous. His 3K. There's no nano boost here as well. So it's not like the normal raid boss beginner that we sort of complain about. But there, I mean, this is the whole point of playing Brig. You want to make it really unpleasant to dive. Skew does so well staying alive there. He builds 50% of his ult in that one little fight. Very, very impressive play. Yeah, yes, chat. A Brig player is getting player of the match. Yes.
Well, he was just that good on the hero, right? Where you could notice that the Brig was making a huge difference, and you see why they have him in for the...
Look at the defensive assist per 10 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, kind of wild. The Inspire uptime at like 40%. That's just getting tons of value out of the passive healing. That's without like the armor pack. So really good play from Skewed. I think his Brig was a huge difference maker in the first 2 maps, because we were seeing like Linkser and Teru doing some really nice things in the DPS role, but as soon as we kind of got into that brawl, the Brig play from Skewed took over.
And what better way to punish a team that maybe has a newer addition in the main tank role and a team that doesn't want to play double shield all that much, right? They're trying to play dive. I mean, you want to dissuade dive in general with the Brigitte, but what a better way to, not just dissuade, but also punish that particular play by just being so skilled in that role. Moth comes in later on. Moth even, plays a little bit of this, bit of that. But really, the damage is done on those first 2 maps. I was shocked to see, Terry's Dragon Blade. Really impressive stuff. There were definitely signs of life, but you hinted at the backline for the Titans, man. Often, Rolf is just not in a position where he can get the most out of his healing, and there's definitely something to take back to the drawing board for the Vancouver Titans, who are 0-5 right now and are looking for a little bit of redemption. On the other side, though, the Gladiators are looking like they want to be part of the June Joust finals. Let's see if they can do it. We'll be back after the break with a post-show and, of course, an interview with the birthday boy himself.
Coca-Cola is the official refreshment of the Overwatch League.
Tell me when everyone's back to.
Oh, Birdring to the back. Oh, dearie me. Yeah, you are very dead. Birdring comes in. Ash play. It's filthy. It's goal time. It's Birdring. He's going off. That's unbelievable. Here we go. Birdring. Oh my God. Sit down. This is so juicy. Is he going to get it? He does.
Oh, that is filthy.
From the shadows he emerges. That was
I don't know if he was aiming for that.
No one knows what's going on. Only Birdring is in control of this fight. No! It's like a pizza oven in there!
This is spicy.
Welcome to the Watchpoint Post Show presented by IBM. We're joined now by the birthday boy, Birdring from Los Angeles Gladiators. 버딘 선수 안녕하세요.
Hello. 안녕하세요.
We just saw a very cool piece. It was like you on Ash and your cool plays from the Overwatch League. What did you think? 방금 그 버딩 선수의 지금까지 뭐 했던 경기나 좀 좋은 플레이들을 좀 모은 거를 봤는데 좀 개인적인 생각 좀 어떠신가요? 보니까 저런 거 보니까.
나빼드하네요.
That's it. All right. Oh yeah, Birdring says yeah, not bad. That's literally all he said. Okay, not bad. So Birdring, of course, after going 2-2 and being knocked out of the May Melee, what was the Los Angeles Gladiators' big takeaway from the May Melee tournament? And what did you guys work on during the month-long break before the June Joust? 이제 저번 달 5월 토너먼트에서 2승 2패로 아쉽게 탈락을 하면서 한 달간의 좀 이렇게 휴식 기간을 치르고 그다음에 이제 6월 토너먼트 들어오시게 되셨는데 5월 토너먼트를 치르고 나서 좀 배운 점이 있다면 그리고 이 한 달간의 어떻게 보면 좀 긴 이 휴식 기간에서 좀 6월 토너먼트를 위해서 어떻게 준비를 하셨나요?
일단 저희가 댈러스의 자리가 저희께 될 수 있지 않았을까라는 좀 아쉬움 그런 게 좀 많이 남았었고요. 일단은 메이밀리 떨어지고 나서 일단 경기를 보면서 팀원들 모두 푹 쉬었고 이제 다음 경기 이번 6월 토너먼트를 위해서 진짜 좀 다들 좀 더 일을 갈고 열심히 하는 그런 분위기가 된 것 같습니다. 5월에 그런 아픔, 슬픔 때문에.
Right. So after our May Melee tournament, we sort of, we had this feeling, and we were sort of frustrated and sad that Dallas's spot could have been ours, and that is truth because they could have been there, but Dallas won. But Birdring says, yeah, they were sort of sad that seeing Dallas go up and up, that could have been Los Angeles Gladiators. After the May Melee, however, Los Angeles Gladiators, they took the time off, they really rested well, and coming into the June Joust tournament, they practiced a lot, and they had this burning fire in them to really perform well because after being knocked out of the May Melee, they just focused on practicing and scrimming so that they could put on their best performance for the June Joust. All right, moving on. My second question for you, Birdring, is you guys are going up against the Atlanta Reign, a team that has been dominating the June Joust. What are you going to do for your birthday? 자, 이제 두 번째 질문은 어떻게 보면은 이제 다음 경기는 이제 아틀란타 팀과 이번에 지금 6월 토너먼트에 들어와서 굉장히 지금 좋은 모습을 보여주고 있는 막강한 팀인데, 네, 버딘 선수 오늘 생일인데 뭐 하실 건가요?
일단 뭐 내일이 당장 대회라서 뭐 딱히 오늘 따로 할 거는 없을 것 같고 대회 준비를 해야죠.
Alright, I sort of thought that Birdring would laugh at that joke, but I don't think it went through. But yes, Birdring says that because they do have a match tomorrow against Atlanta Reign. I don't think he says that he doesn't think he's gonna have time to do anything special. So he's probably going to be practicing a lot for the match against Atlanta Reign. How about Birdring? How about after the match? Are you trying to celebrate for your birthday? 그러면 이제 내일 경기가 끝나고 나서는 좀 뭐 하실 생각이 있으신가요? 뭐 할 거 있나요?
아니면 뭐 할 거 없죠. 뭐 제가 뭐 하겠습니다. 게임이나 해야죠. 뭐 생일은 똑같습니다. 생일도 뭐.
Hey man, hey, yeah, Birdring says, hey, what can I do? I mean, there's nothing really much for me to do other than just play games, right? So I think I'm just gonna play games and play Overwatch. True gamer, Birdring. Anyways, Birdring, again, happy birthday. Thank you so much for the interview and good luck tomorrow. 생일 너무나도 축하드리고요. 네, 내일 그럼 뵙도록 하겠습니다.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, let's head back to the desk.
Thank you so much, Birdring. Thank you, Danny. That was so funny. Well, Danny, if it makes you feel better, I cracked up. I had to try really hard to stay silent and not laugh out loud. So, yeah, we appreciate you. And you
I got very confused in the question. You finished the question, I was like, wait, did you just say birthday? I'm lost in this interview.
That felt like doing a DMV test, like completely misleading at the start and then, throwing in that curveball. I guess he caught it, or maybe he didn't catch it.
No, he did catch it, but I thought,
in the end.
I thought he would at least laugh a little bit. I thought he was going to crack up, but he was a professional. He just answered the question. It was like,
unlike all of us. That's
that's idiots on the desk.
No, we appreciated it, and it's always great to hear from our players. So thank you so much for sharing their insight with us, Danny. Now, let's talk about the game we just got to watch. I know the games have been going really, really quickly, so there may or may not be too much to actually analyze and dissect, but we're going to try regardless. Talking about the match between the Gladiators and the Titans. This was the first look we're now seeing of the Gladiators in the June Joust. How do we feel? Do you guys get a sense that they have a good grasp on the meta and found something which works for them, or have they not been truly tested?
I think they look good. They look good. I'm a little concerned with how passive they were playing at moments. If you look at the number of final blows that went from each team, it was heavily lopsided towards the Gladiators, but even especially on the first map on Ilios, Vancouver Titans actually cut it pretty close. Gladiators were willing to give that space so that they could get the perfect fight and get the perfect engage. It was fine against the Vancouver Titans, but I am a little concerned if they go up against good teams like they did in May Melee, they might get punished a little bit more for this start. I don't know what you think, if you agree with me on that one, Johnny.
I mean, a little bit, yeah. It maybe wasn't their best showing ever, but at the same time, I kind of feel like maybe it's just me, we're kind of underestimating the LA Gladiators because they, went 2-2 last stage when in reality they lost to Shock and the Fuel. I feel like if they build on this performance, the LA Gladiators could genuinely be very competitive with the rest of our top teams here in the North American region and potentially leave a mark in the knockout stages even going into the June Joust playoffs. Yes, they looked a bit passive at times. There was some hesitation when, for example, Space was going to recontest Point A on Hanamura and, he flew out and then he tried to go back in and then, ended up having his two supports jump off the map to reset. It was just all over the place. But I feel like overall, if the Gladiators can build on this performance, I think this could be the meta. They're flexible, showing different compositions, and they do have the individual skill, and we saw some really good moments at times. So I feel like this is a Gladiators to watch out for the rest of the June Joust.
Yeah, definitely shouldn't, be so timid, as you both said. I think we all agree on that. And if they just rock up with a little bit more confidence and bring that tempo to the opposition and the aggression, most of all, they may be faring really well in the June Joust. So lots of good signs here for the Gladiator fans to look out for. Now, on the other side, Vancouver Titans. They had a few bright spots as well. I think Teru definitely made his presence felt as well today.
Yeah, for sure. He was very good. We have hyped up Teru. It is unfortunate, like on the Vancouver Titans, they haven't had much success as a team, so it's very hard to shine. But if you play Genji, it's always easy to shine, and he showed that in this match, especially on that Junkertown. That was ridiculous, that Genji blade that he got. He's really coming out of his shell and really proving that he is a great DPS player for the Vancouver Titans. For me, they need to round everything else, though. Vancouver Titans, I think some of their support ultimates were pretty weak, and some of their grasp on the meta, they wanted to play a lot of Lucio, but weren't really playing well in that style. The first thing that comes to mind is Junkertown, right? They're playing this Lucio Orisa style, but not playing fast enough to overrun the Gladiators. So some good ideas, just the execution isn't there right now.
Yeah, maybe Kasta, I just want you to know.
Maybe Genji's good.
I was just about to talk about Genji.
No, really?
I want you to know that the fear and pain in your voice when you try to hype up and be positive about a Genji showing, it showed. I heard it, and I felt it. Yeah, it showed.
I'm not sold on this Genji. Until I see one team beat another team in a very competitive matchup with Genji, I'm not going to be sold. So far, it feels like Genji is this niche strat that works when they're overwhelming. It doesn't feel like Genji is the deciding factor. Obviously, he gets these big blades, but if he doesn't get the value of those big blades, and we saw this from Teru on their attack on Junkertown, if you don't get the value out of those blades, you fall very short and you don't have that sort of macro style to play the game. So I am concerned that a lot of teams are going to get baited into this Genji, but hey, they're pro players. I'm not anymore. They might be right, and I could just be wrong at this point. So we'll see.
That said, though, I will say that yes, we disagree, or well, you say that you shouldn't play Genji in Drang. I think the Danny Genji could be really helpful in Casters to Masters because you were really struggling. Your performances have been horrible on the Overwatch YouTube channel. Casters to Masters are a weekly show where talent just straight up loses in ranked. I think Danny Genji could be the key.
Johnny,
to
are you?
Wins
You're being
Replace
serious?
the Brenji.
Really?
No,
I mean, at this point, try something new, Danny.
No.
You don't trust my tank play?
No. No.
Johnny.
Look, your tank play is good, Danny, but you're the best player on
Don't lie
that
to
team,
him.
and I think you can be used elsewhere. I think you should be TPS.
Okay.
Hey, Caster, y'all heard that? You heard? Yeah, you're hearing Johnny?
Costa agrees. Costa VOD reviewed. He saw.
I did VOD
Danny's
review.
good.
I did. Yeah. You had some good moments. You had some good moments, Danny. I think that there was. I think everybody on that team soft threw at a different point. Just everyone had some horrible plays.
Yeah,
honestly,
you like my window?
You can only go up from here. So maybe Danny Genji. Maybe
you like
Johnny
my
Rat.
window? My bath window?
Yeah, the window was great. Yeah, it was.
Yeah, I still think about it when I
something.
close my eyes. So there's that. Now moving on to actual pro play, Dallas Fuel. They continue to, live their best lives, just playing the meta, making their own meta, rather. So yeah, things are looking great for them. On the other side, unfortunately, London Spitfire continue their losing streak, being 0-7 as of right now. And I also think, without doing the quick math, their chances of getting into the June Joust are slim to non-existent at this point. They're definitely out of their hands as they only have one more match to play.
Yeah, and it's going to be hard for the London Spitfire to get that. So at this point, especially with how hard we said their schedule was going to be, I just wanted to see some good performances and some growth from the London Spitfire. Unfortunately, we didn't get to see that against the Dallas Fuel, but that's the Dallas Fuel. They're so oppressive. They are playing against Houston Outlaws, I believe the London Spitfire are in their next match this weekend, so hopefully we can see a little bit more life from them. But on the other hand, Dallas Fuel, man, they're just oppressive no matter how they play the game. They're so good. The synergy, the dive, the coordination is just on another level, and that's why they get away with playing whatever they want.
Yeah, but how long is this going to last, Costa? I think that is the question. You asked it yourself earlier. How long can you rely on the Sparkle Genji, especially in the June Joust, where we've seen some more double shield play. Definitely even the Gladiators throw out some more Risa here in their match against the Vancouver Titans. The Atlanta Reign, of course, have looked spectacular, playing more solid tanks. So the Dallas Fuel, they play this Winston composition, they play with some Lucio Moira, kept going at a very aggressive and rapid pace. But how long can this last? Yes, you beat the London Spitfire in a very convincing fashion today, but the question remains, how good will the Dallas Fuel be for the rest of the stage? And that's where I think Sunday's match against the San Francisco Shock will be a true test for the Dallas Fuel in this new hero pool kind of meta. So, good initial impression for the Dallas Fuel following their main melee win. But
I like that you bring us all back to the floor. Stop it. Stop celebrating the
No, I'm hyping up Sunday's match, Zoe. More great Overwatch coming our way. Sunday!
No, I was vibing with the Fuel, and you just kind of put me down right there. I'm not having it. Also, quick correction on my part. I think I just said that the London Spitfire only have one more match to play. Of course, they have two more to play, so I was wrong on that. Now, I want to take a quick look at our predictions, which, not the biggest surprise, but we were right. Actually, after last week, it might be a big surprise. We were right.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
You can do that too. Look at us go.
Yep. Yay.
Yeah,
Everyone's a winner.
In pick'ems.
Beautiful.
Did you pick 3-0 in pick'ems?
Yeah, I got 6 points today.
No, I got 5 points.
No, I had a 3-1 for Vancouver.
Yeah,
I don't
me
know
too.
why, but that's what did
I
happen.
don't know why either.
Toxic.
but, yeah.
I get that sometimes too. I'm not sure, 3-0 is weird.
Yeah.
I don't want to predict a 3-0 because it's
Yeah.
weird. The same thing
No,
happened because they have double points in the New York Valiant game, I think it is. And so I'm like, well, I don't want to predict a 3-0 because it's double points. It's not going to be a 3-0, but then of course it's going to be a 3-0.
It's gonna be,
It's like that. It's like, okay, we know the first game. I was like, okay, I know the first game. I feel like first game is going to be 3-0. There's no way, it's not possible for both of the games going to be 3-0. That's going to be way too
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm like, all right, I'll give Vancouver 1
Can't
point.
trust.
This,
Yeah.
this is Gladiators'
Good point.
first
Yeah, I like
game. They might try things out, but then, they still 3-0'd.
Also, just before we move on from this part, like we didn't really get to talk about it. I'm number one in the standings. Just
No, that was on
reminding
purpose.
everyone.
We
Yeah,
purposely
let's move on,
walked
let's move
through
on.
it
Talk
all.
about the
One
graphics,
cares.
but it was there. You know, I'm number one, baby. Just bring the crown
I
back.
love
When's
that.
the crown coming?
That was very intentional, us not mentioning that Costa's currently our number one whatsoever. And you know what? We're not even going to discuss it any further. We're just heading straight into a break. And then afterwards, we're back with probably the most popular Watch Point segment of all times, according to probably no one. But anyway, best of the day is coming right up after a very quick break.
Critically.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by Coca-Cola, the official refreshment of the Overwatch League, and by IBM, the official cloud and AI partner of the Overwatch League.
Welcome back to the Watchpoint Post Show presented by IBM. Here on the desk, we always appreciate, the quick plays, the high-speed action, and the rapid movement in our beloved game, Overwatch. So it is time for Xfinity Speed Boost. For the whole day was basically that. That's correct. It's been, it went over, I feel like we literally just did the pre-show.
Yeah.
Which we kind of did, actually.
Shortest day in history, it feels like. It feels like we just finished it, and this is like the halftime break after the first map. It's like the halftime break. Like, okay, guys, what did we see in the first two maps? But it's already over, and it's due to this guy, this Sparkle guy, just killing everyone consistently. So big plays.
What do we do now?
Big plays.
What do you even do with the rest of your day now?
Do I like to take my dog out for a walk and then play some rank?
Oh, that sounds like a nice day.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah, that sounds delightful.
I don't know.
Sunny
This is
outside.
unprecedented. It's always Overwatch
Yeah.
League on my mind, and now I'm like, what? Like,
Here's what we do.
over? No.
Here's what we do. Let's have a
I feel like I'm
birthday
skipping
party
school
for
when
Birdring.
we have. Let's all individually have a party for him.
For
He doesn't
Birdring?
need to be here. We don't need
Yeah,
him.
he doesn't
Someone has
seem
to.
that excited for his own
Yeah.
birthday. I feel like I was way
true.
more excited for his birthday than you were.
Also true.
We can make something happen, Danny. Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll
Yeah.
make something happen
Let's
for him.
celebrate his birthday without him. He doesn't even need to know about
Right.
it.
For him.
We're just having a
Yeah.
good time. Yeah, for him, obviously without him. Duh. It's gonna be great. Great times. Yeah, I'm already having great ideas. So make sure to follow us on, our social media for our celebratory pics of his birthday without him. Now, it is time not just for the greatest birthday of all times, but also for just the best of the day. It's been a short day, but there are still plenty of things to pick from. My best of the day just has to involve Genji, because I feel like that's the only thing which actually happened today, which is a lot of Genji. Slicing and dicing and slicing and dicing. So yeah, Sparkle was just out here playing Fruit Ninja all over their opponents. Like it was quite beautiful actually. Yeah,
This guy gets high scores.
relatable content.
That's all I'm saying.
Yep. Another one. No, it just didn't stop. It felt like one long blade throughout the entirety of the match.
Fruit Ninja. Wow, I haven't.
That's a
That was a-
throwback, right?
Yeah, that was
Anyone
a
still
throwback.
playing that, or just me?
I don't think so.
Oh, okay, I definitely don't play it either.
Just none of us, right?
All right. I think I'm gonna go next. So we talked about Sparkle Genji. I'm talking something way different. I'm talking about Genji without Nano Boost, slicing and dicing, like
Like a vanilla
the players
blade?
cutting tofu.
Oh.
Yeah, but no
Oh.
Nano Boost. Yes, it's Teru from Vancouver Titans. This guy didn't have. He wasn't nano boosted. There wasn't a bongo. It was just Matt Mersal called this a naked blade. Naked blade. Yeah, and making it work. It's just cool to see.
All I'm hearing is
Teru
that
popping
you
off.
calling the gladiators tofu. That's all that's stuck in my memory now.
Have you guys played the game as Tofu?
Tofu Ninja.
Tofu Ninja.
We should make a game called Tofu Ninja. It's
yeah.
completely
It's gonna
different.
be a
Game.
hit. It's different kind of tofu. There's firm, there's soft, there's medium.
Really?
So it's gonna be
There's
a
all these
complete different
different
experience for all of those tofus.
There's a firm tofu.
toffees. Yeah.
I don't even know how
firm
tofu is
tofu?
made. I couldn't tell
Oh,
you what
it's
tofu
beans.
is made of.
I know it's beans.
It's beans.
Beans!
Doesn't that
You
explain
didn't know.
everything?
No idea.
It's beans. Wait, I think
Is
it's
Danny
beans.
lying to us? Is Danny
Yeah,
lying to
it's
us on
soybeans.
broadcast to make us look stupid?
There you go. Yeah, okay, I was like,
What?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
What?
I knew that.
I'm
not
Asian.
legit.
I know my tofu, but I didn't know they had like firm, smooth. Wait, would you say smooth tofu?
Yeah, there's soft, there's medium. Anyway,
Oh.
this is not. It's not about tofu.
What do you mean? It is now.
Wait till you read it. Okay, well then let's have a discussion.
Tofu
about
rankings.
Tofu Ninja.
Oh,
Tofu
they're gonna come in.
rankings.
Tofu rankings.
Hey, firm
Yeah, no,
tofu
I'm-
S tier for sure.
For
feel
sure.
so-
I was just about to say that. Yeah.
I feel
Well,
so
now
bad
we
for
sorted that
production.
as short rankings, really.
They don't know how to go from this. Let me put us back on track. Best of the day. My best of the day is the definition of helping a friend out. So we're gonna have the Dallas Fuel trying to get a close spawn camp here. But D.Va, if you've ever played D.Va, can't crouch and is just the world's loudest character in the game. So they're going to push the D.Va towards the spawn so that the opposition won't hear any of the footsteps, which genius play, and that's very friendly, really helping Hanbin out get close to the doors. Unfortunately, London just walked out of the doors and used a sonic arrow, and it's all for naught.
Immediately.
But that doesn't mean it was any less cool, you know? That teamwork makes the dream work right here.
I've
Oh
never
my
seen
God,
this
I
happen.
can't
Like,
believe that.
legit, I've never seen this though. This is the first time I'm seeing this.
Yeah, I've never,
Never
seen
seen
a D.Va
anyone
big push.
doing that.
What? I've seen this a couple of
I've
times.
never seen that.
In like Ghost
Really?
Meta,
I've
because
never
you'd always
seen it
hold close in Ghost Meta.
I don't
So
know.
I must have
you push
completely
the D.Va.
blacked out on that. Yeah, no. Oh,
Yeah, I got
oh,
some real
here we
nightmares
are.
of being held at spawn on Guangzhou Charge. It's not fun. It's not fun at all. Yeah. Well, I it's been a short day, as we said, and there's not a ton of highlights. So for my best of the day, I too have a Genji highlight.
Yay.
The main support equivalent of a Genji highlight.
Yeah.
Fruit Ninja with a flail.
Okay.
Fruit Ninja with a flail. That's what we do these days. I'm gonna make this my mobile app next. We got skewed here. You don't want to be stuck in a room versus a nano brig. It's actually not a nano brig. It's just a regular brig. Just flailing, slicing and dicing with a
No,
maze.
it's not
it-
potato
is it slicing
mashing.
and
There's
dicing?
no
Yeah,
slicing
no.
and dicing.
It's
No,
pumpkin
it's
smashing.
just
Smashing and bashing.
smashing and
go.
bashing. There you
Bashing
go.
and smashing, yeah.
Don't get stuck in a small room with a small brig. Reinhardt is gone, so this is the only thing I have. Like this is as close to reality
It's
as it gets to
close,
me.
yeah.
So thank you, Skewed. I appreciate this. Best of the day for me. Thank you.
Big naked
Love your
brig play.
contribution.
stuck in a small room with a small brick.
It's fine if she's big, but if she's small, like, you know what I mean? There are just danger waiting to happen. Guys, let's take a look at the APAC Region's June Joust qualifier standings before we finish off our day. And I just want everyone to remember that these points will determine whether or not those teams make it into the upcoming tournament of the June Joust. And once again, a reminder that there's a lot of juicy points on the line if you're winning that tournament. 3 points, that's a lot of points that help Dallas to find their way back into the standings. And I think a lot of the teams here will greatly benefit from these extra points heading into the later parts of the season. Who do you guys want to see pop off? Not who is gonna pop off, but who do you want to see pop off?
I just want to talk about the standing real first. Like, how are Spark and Charge and New York Excelsior the top 3 right now? Obviously, a couple of the teams haven't played, but I think those teams were literally the bottom 3 last May Melee, and now they're the top 3. It's actually chaos in the APAC region. Valiant. Yeah, Valiant is also there, which is great for them. But I think there's a lot of great teams. I want to watch more Shy, if I'm just being honest. He's so good. If you haven't watched Shy play the game yet, he is honestly the sole reason for the resurgence of the Hangzhou Spark. So go check that out. Go watch Spark pound.
That telemarketer guy got to him. I guess he took another phone call.
Oh yeah. Do you like pink?
Very bold.
I wanted to say about the Guangzhou Charge actually. People have been sleeping on my boy Choice1. I said going into the season that this guy was going to be a really good flex DPS, and he had a really bad melee. Like, it was horrible. Don't watch those VODs. You do want to watch Guangzhou Charge's VODs this past week, of course, when they did play in APAC, because they look like a top 3, top 4 kind of team in the APAC region. They look genuinely good. Karib had a stunning match against the New York Excelsior, just hit biotic grenade after biotic. It was quite unreal. So the Guangzhou Charge, keep an eye on those guys. But we have the Seoul Dynasty playing tonight, so I'm looking forward to seeing them.
That's gonna be fun.
Good. Yeah.
Hey, Philly,
I can't wait
come
to
on.
see. Yes. Hey, what? What?
Philly.
Let's go, Philly.
Philly, come on.
Okay.
Wake up. All right, that's it.
Wake up.
They're not playing.
Wake
this week.
up.
They're not playing this week.
Yeah, I know they're not playing.
Listen to Danny. It doesn't matter. They still need to cheer me on. So Danny just got their back, and I appreciate that for one. Yeah, I mean everything is upside down and thrown around. Like, I don't even know how to make picks anymore. I might as well throw a coin for most of them. Probably as accurate given what has happened so far in the June Joust. We just have to embrace the chaos. Now let's take a look at the NA region standing for the June Joust as well, so we can get an idea of where we're currently at in this very region. Also, we flipped everything on the head. Everything's just wow.
Boston's the best team in North America. Who would have thought? This isn't obviously a small sample size. Boston is the best team in North America right now. Clip it and ship it.
Right now.
Here we are.
Yep.
Boston.
I'm pretty sure the regular season is over.
Right now, for sure.
This is the all-time standings for 2021. I'm pretty sure the season ends here. We don't have more matches. That was an Uprising.
I mean, if it were up to Boston, probably would. It's like, that's it. We're done. Stop it.
We're done. Pack it up.
Pack it up. Hey, yeah, it's all about context, right? So you just clip it however you want, and you can make sure that your team is on the top of it all. Now, I'm very excited to see what all these teams still have in store for us. We, of course, still have some matches to play in the June Joust qualifier. Each team has to play 4 qualifier matches, and we're not even near done with all of those. So still a lot of points to be had and to lose as well. So let's take a look at the schedule for tomorrow, as we have a lot of great games coming up and coming your way. Very excited for many of those. Particularly, I'm very excited, of course, for Atlanta Reign and Gladiators, as I already said. Given that Atlanta Reign actually did look so good in their first showing, and now seeing that the Gladiators also, looking a lot more comfortable in this meta than they did with the May Melee one, it's going to be a good game, I think.
Yeah.
So
really good. I'm excited for it. Atlanta Reign, of course, they're a favorite going into the knockout rounds. Dare I say, I don't even know if they qualified yet, but they look really good. They're one of the favorites, dare I say, in the knockout rounds. So, still some qualifier games to go, and this one, they're certainly favored against the LA Gladiators. Dare I say, dare I say, their favorite? Who knows? Maybe I'm not allowed to say that. I don't know.
Well, you said it now.
Atlanta good.
There it is.
Atlanta good. That's all I'm saying.
Good.
Are you gonna pick
Atlanta
him
good.
Just give me some insight. You gonna pick him more, Johnny?
No, I'm actually going with the Gladiators, Costa. So
I don't believe your lies at all. I don't believe you at all.
I'll think about it, but I think I'm going with the Gladiators, Costa. So stay tuned for that.
I feel like our pickings tomorrow are going to be fun. I think predictions
Yeah.
tomorrow may or may not end up a little spicier than today at least. So that's
Really?
good. That's good news. Now,
all
I
going
really want to drag this out for as long as possible, just so, you know, we fill our hours. But, hey, we get paid regardless, actually, so it doesn't matter. And that means that we can say goodbye and you know, go about our days. And we will be back, of course, tomorrow, once again, with more matches in the Overwatch League 2021. Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining me here on the desk. Can't wait to be back, and now enjoy a lot of your day, actually. See you tomorrow.
Bye.
What are we gonna do? What do we do?
I don't know.
Just stay here.
Early. Is the sun still
You
up?
can tell tomorrow.
You guys want to play a game?
What
I'll
is
play
the sun?
arcade.